How to eat if you want to lose weight. First of all, weight loss is not the goal. The goal is to lose fat because we want fat loss. We don't want to lose lean muscle mass. We don't want to lose bone mineral density. We want to lose fat. We want to get rid of that stuff. How the heck should we eat? There are 100 different diets out there manipulating meal timing, meal frequency, the types of foods, the macros you eat. All of these methods can be successful at helping us to eat less food. How should you eat to lose body fat long term is what we should be asking. Because in order to maintain that body fat loss, we have to maintain the habits that inform our body what form it takes. And we've got to maintain those habits for a long time. You could just do a quick fat loss diet, count your calories for 3 months, starve yourself, go on the treadmill 3 times a day, and you can lose weight. But are those sustainable habits that you can maintain the rest of your life? Or are you going to bounce right back into that old habit set that created the ill health and the obesity and the overweight condition in the first place? Because many of us do that. Many of us jump on whatever fad diet is popular at the moment, whether it fits with our lifestyle or not, and we don't get the results we're looking for long term. So perhaps, rather than asking, what should I eat to lose weight? Perhaps what we should be asking is, what should we eat to lose fat long term and maintain that fat loss? The way that we teach it is we enjoy using a ketogenic diet, a low carbohydrate approach. So insulin regulates energy storage as well as many mechanisms of energy release in the body. Insulin helps us to store fat. Insulin helps us to grow tissues. But when it becomes out of balance, this hormone, which is not inherently bad in the human body, it is necessary. We need insulin. If you don't have insulin, that means you're a type 1 diabetic, which used to be basically a death sentence for many people before exogenous insulin became readily available. So keeping insulin low is a strategy that a ketogenic diet leverages along with blood glucose stability, maintaining stable blood glucose so that you're not getting those crashes, right? You know that feeling when you eat a big meal, it's full of sugar. You eat a huge breakfast, you get those Starbucks muffins, or those cinnamon rolls from Costco, or those blueberry muffins from Costco. All the crap I used to eat every single day used to make me totally crash afterwards. I would feel like crap. It'd feel great while I'm eating it, right? That sugar rush, but then an hour or so later, I'd be out. We want to maintain blood glucose stability, and a ketogenic diet keeps carbohydrate, sugar, low. So removing the carbohydrate from the diet is the first step on starting a ketogenic diet. Now, what should you eat rather than what you shouldn't eat, perhaps, is even more important. Because even outside of a ketogenic template like we teach, we still need this one macronutrient that if we don't get enough of, we're going to see massive deleterious effects on our health, such as bone mineral density loss, right? Sarcopenia, loss of muscle, the inability to create hormones, like human growth hormone, and we see muscle wasting. We see immune dysfunction if we don't get enough protein, because protein is the macro that not only brings satiety, but it's also necessary for rebuilding tissues, for repairing tissues, for immune function, for creating human growth hormone, and many other physiological processes in the body. So there's a minimum protein requirement that we all have. 0.8 grams per pound of your lean body mass or your desired body mass, right? So your desired weight, use your desired weight if you've got like 100 pounds to lose. If you've got 50 to 100 pounds, 200 pounds to lose, use your desired weight, right? You don't need to be eating for lean muscle mass that your body might or might not have, right? If you're 400 pounds, a lot of that lean muscle tissue is going to completely transform by the time you're down to 200 pounds. All right, so use your future weight. But if you're lean already and you're starting a ketogenic diet, I usually recommend using your lean body mass, right? For athletes, for people who are more fit, for people who aren't trying to lose weight, who are doing keto for cognitive benefits, for mental clarity, usually recommend lean body mass, right? However, there is a range of protein intake that'll be useful for people, but simplest rule is getting sufficient protein, usually say about 0.8 grams per pound of your lean body mass, right? So get sufficient protein. Fatty cuts of meat, steaks, eggs. These are the types of foods that one is going to be eating on a ketogenic diet for fat loss. Now, a very, very popular trope out there, a very, very popular image is just the butter guzzling keto dieters, right? The still obese butter guzzlers promoting massive amounts of fat intake. Fat intake on a ketogenic diet obviously increases, right? When you start keto, getting sufficient protein is crucial. We don't want to starve ourselves of the energy macro, which is going to be fat on keto. Fat and carbohydrate are both used for energy. Obviously, keeping carbohydrates low, keeping the sugars low, cutting out the bread, the pasta, the high glycemic foods, and sticking to only vegetables, leafy green vegetables, and even those are optional. Might be surprising, but you don't have to eat a bunch of vegetables to lose weight. You don't have to eat an entire plate of vegetables every meal to even be healthy. I mean, people have been telling us we need the veggies to survive. And this is being proven wrong lately. We've been seeing so many people with an interest in a carnivorous style ketogenic diet. All right, so each month, sometimes every other month, we've been doing every month lately, we do a group community coaching. Our keto and carnivore collective, we actually had to tack on the word carnivore because of the volume of interest of people wanting to use a more carnivorous approach. So for the last few years, I've been finding that my body just functions and thrives much better without making all the vegetables. I mean, I can handle a lot of them, I can digest many of them, but I just look at it like, why? If I can eat a big fat steak or have some delicious eggs with the yolks, I would way rather eat that and fill up on that than a bunch of broccoli or cauliflower. Although I do love some broccoli with some steamed broccoli with butter and salt, you know, cauliflower. I like cauliflower, mashed potatoes, stuff like that. We actually have a bunch of recipes for this type of stuff in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. But I just don't find myself eating the vegetables now. And what we found through coaching thousands of clients over the years and working with dozens of clients each month in our Keto and Carnivore Collective, where we do live interactive voice chats and lessons each week, and you have a community-based setting where you can actually bounce ideas off each other, help to support each other, and learn from each other's mistakes and triumphs. The Keto and Carnivore Collective for this next month, for November, is starting on Sunday. So it's like the last few days to sign up for that. It's going to be a fun group. We're excited for this one. We might do December, but we might not. But what we have found is that many people who've even been doing a ketogenic diet for an extended period of time end up gravitating towards a carnivorous approach because it's simple for many people and very enjoyable. So if you are eating vegetables on a ketogenic diet for fat loss, keep it to leafy greens. Keep it to fibrous, low glycemic veggies, stuff like broccoli and cauliflower. And stuff like avocados, which is actually a fruit, right? But stick to the stuff that's low in sugar and that's got micronutrients and fiber. And you're not looking at those carbs as a source of energy, but as a source of fiber, micronutrients. Although remember, they might not be as necessary as everybody's been telling us over the years. So fat, being the energy macro, you don't want to starve yourself of fat if you're going for fat loss. In the beginning of a ketogenic diet, it takes a couple weeks to get adapted. Usually what I've found with working with many people, I found that the more weight you've got to lose, the quicker you snap into that ketotic state with minimal side effects. You know, the keto flu that many people experience in the adaptation phase. There's simply your body getting adjusted to a new dietary pathway, right? We've got to create new digestive enzymes. The pancreas, the liver, the gallbladder function differently in a ketogenic state. Your body loses some water weight. So in the beginning, you might feel like you're low on electrolytes. Making sure to get sodium intake up can be very helpful for many. Making sure to get magnesium, potassium dietarily. You can get potassium from foods like meats, fish, eggs. A pound of meat has like 1,600 milligrams of potassium, or you can get it from foods like avocado, which is probably the most potassium-dense food in the plant kingdom, even more so than banana. And then magnesium is very important as well as an electrolyte. Some people like to supplement magnesium in the beginning. Much of our food supply is depleted of vital nutrition and minerals due to the use of pesticides, of stuff like glyphosate that actually binds up nutrients in the soil. So much of our food supply doesn't have much magnesium. So sometimes supplementing that can be useful. That can help you to avoid the side effects of the adaptation, right? Which might be, you might get headaches, you might feel a little bit lethargic in the beginning, but this passes. Make sure you get enough protein. Protein always comes with fat, bound up with those animal foods, right? So if you're eating a big fatty steak, you're gonna be getting a significant amount of fat there. With that protein, protein is there for satiety. We must understand that when losing weight, we gotta maintain low levels of hunger and high levels of satiety. And that's the magic of keto. Nothing else. Keto doesn't make you lose fat in absence of a calorie deficit. Keto makes it to where you can easily maintain a caloric deficit because you're able to tap into body fat seamlessly in between your meals. So sometimes extending the time of fasting in between those meals is a strategy that many people use. Although this isn't perfect for everybody. If you're working night shifts, if you're a mama waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, nursing a baby at night, you might not want to be intermittent fasting long periods of time. Perhaps if you have thyroid hormone issues, if you've got Hashimoto's, it might not be a good idea to do extended fasting. But maintaining those low insulin levels by fasting longer periods of time in between meals can be very, very beneficial. So, what do you eat in order to lose weight? The way we teach it, you end up eating a lot of the foods that you were told made you fat in the first place. We were told that fat makes us fat. We're told that fat gives us heart disease. That cholesterol, which is ubiquitous throughout the human body, which your brain contains loads of, which is constantly flowing and being created by our body. We're told cholesterol is bad. We're told animal foods are bad. We're told that we should be eating a high sugar, grain-based diet. And for many of us, it doesn't work. So a ketogenic diet allows you to eat foods like steak, like eggs, like fish, like fatty cuts of meat, grass-fed butter, organ meats. Right? Some people forget that the most nutrient-dense parts of the animal are actually the most often neglected. So when we teach a ketogenic diet or even a carnivorous style ketogenic diet where you're eating mostly from or exclusively from the animal kingdom, we like to include organs. Foods like liver. Liver's got more vitamin A than actually any other food on the planet that we know of. Liver's got more B vitamins than almost any other piece of the animal. Foods like heart, very high in coenzyme Q10. We actually show you, we've got a whole section in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. We call it a training manual for low-carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. We call it a training manual for a reason. It's not just a list of recipes. Our goal with this was to teach you how to create a foundation of habits and food prep, ketogenic food prep, that will allow for optimum health, fat loss, and a well-formulated ketogenic diet. So it's not just based on Quest bars, junk food. This is based on nutrient-dense, whole, unrefined foods. So we teach you how to prepare organs. We've got a whole section on vegetables. We can teach you how to ferment certain foods to make them more bioavailable, how to make your own sauerkraut at home. The Ketogenic Edge cookbook is there as a resource to train you how to do this long term, how to build the habit set that you're going to need to maintain if you want to maintain that fat loss. Remember, we have to maintain our habits that form and inform our body, how it manifests itself. All right? Just like if you want to stay strong, you have to continually lift weights. If we want to stay lean, we have to continually maintain a diet that is enjoyable, sustainable, and fits in with our lifestyle that allows us to stay lean. Shoot, there are people out there doing a ketogenic diet or even a carnivorous style diet, eating out all the time, eating like burgers without the bun. And they're still getting good results. Now, obviously, I don't think that's the most healthy way to go about it. I think that creating a solid foundation of habits where you're making your own food is crucial. If you want to maintain it long term, we gotta make sure that we know how to make our own food. Right, so check out the book. It's a good resource for getting started. It's available on our website exclusively. It's not on Amazon. It's not anywhere else. You can find it in the link in the description there. But remember, protein, most important macro to eat for fat loss. It always comes with fat bound up in it. And those nutrient-dense, fatty cuts of meat, those fatty animal foods, bring satiety better than almost any other foods in the world. So you get to eat steaks. You get to eat eggs. If you like bacon, you get to eat the bacon. Who would have thought that you could eat those foods and lose fat? Now, this doesn't mean you get to eat as much of it as you possibly can, that you get to eat as much of it as you want, right? Calories count. I don't necessarily count them because I've created a solid foundation of habits to keep me going and to maintain my body composition. That doesn't mean that calories don't count if they don't exist. So when you're starting out a ketogenic diet, it's usually best to be about maintenance calories. All right, that's how we like to teach it, especially when we're doing the keto and carnivore collective. We don't want people stressing out in the beginning of the diet. You don't want to be trying to force your body to burn a bunch of body fat right away when you haven't generated the enzymatic know-how in the body, right? The pancreas, the gallbladder function differently on keto. You've got to ramp up those enzyme productions. You're going to have changes in the gut microbiome, and you're going to be generating more mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of the cell that burn fat. So in the beginning, give yourself sufficient protein, give yourself the fats, usually about 1.5 grams of fat per gram of protein in the beginning of a ketogenic diet is sufficient to bring satiety and to get you adapted. And then you can adjust the fat as you move forward, right? Eating less fat from the plate means you burn less fat from the body. More fat on the plate means we burn less fat from the body. It's that simple. So what do you eat to lose weight? Sometimes it's more important what you don't eat, right? Like the sugar, like the bread, like the wheat, the corn, the soy, the manufactured processed McFoods that we've been McMarketed in this global McMonoculture that's destroying our physical health and destroying the health of our soil and our guts. Right? We want to avoid those foods, mass-produced junk food, and focus on nutrient-dense, unrefined, whole foods, protein-based, fatty cuts of meat, getting sufficient protein, keeping those carbs low, vegetables, optional, which many of us have been learning over the years of implementing a ketogenic diet. And we've got to eat foods that you can enjoy. So if you want to lose weight, you got to find habits to maintain long term. And remember, it's more than just what we eat. The light exposure throughout the day, our circadian rhythm, our sleep, relaxation, movement, move in the body, strengthening skeletal muscle tissue. All these things be very, very beneficial and useful for fat loss as well. And they all inform a holistic lifestyle that can allow us to thrive. You just got to get sufficient protein, get adapted to burning fat for energy, and then burn that body fat. So you can find more at primaledgehealth.com. The next Keto and Carnivore Collective starts this Sunday. You can sign up. There's a link in the description down below. We might do it December. Not sure yet. We might have to take a break because we've been pushing really hard with all the work lately, but it's well worth it. It's so fun being able to coach in a community-based setting where we've got live interactive voice chats and the ability for people to share their experiences with others. So I still do private coaching and consultations, but I really prefer to send people to the Keto and Carnivore Collective because it's so much more fun and you get more interaction, more value, more content than you do with live one-on-one coaching. So anyways, it's not as crazy and complicated as people make it out to be. We've got to create a lifestyle that we can enjoy and maintain long-term in order to maintain that fat loss. And keto is one of the most powerful methods we can use. So I'll see you guys next time. Get off the computer, turn off your TV, smash your TV set, close your Facebook account, kill your Facebook, and get out there, talk to real people, and go live your life.